Welcome to the UWIRE Campus Pulse. I'm Adam Azer, unveiling our UWIRE preseason college football poll. Our number 4 team in the country comes from Columbus, Ohio. The Buckeyes of Ohio State lost in the national championship game the past 2 seasons and again have high hopes in 2008. So let's bring in Zach Timmons, the sports editor for The Lantern. Zach, first we got to talk about the performances in the past 2 national title games. What do the Buckeyes take from being runner-up 2 years in a row?
Well, not much. I guess the experience of getting there is big, but after the second time, there's nowhere to go but down. Everyone was disappointed the first time, and they thought maybe the layoff caused it or people being out of shape. But I think we've seen that it's an inability to make adjustments, and I think that's the biggest thing coming into this season. And the offense and defense have both already prepared to make those in-game adjustments this year.
What about the speed issue that we keep hearing about? That might have played a factor in the LSU and the Florida games. Are they fast enough to compete against those types of teams?
I think they are. I think, especially this year, they've started recruiting faster athletes, but I don't think it was as much a problem as people thought it was the first time. I think it was more a set issue. I think people were out of position, and I think when you're out of position, it's going to make you look slower because you're running from further away. I think, when the Buckeyes knew what was going on, they had a pretty good time stopping LSU. I mean, they got anywhere they wanted on the first 2 drives on offense, but on defense it was a problem. I think just making sure they're in the right set. I think they were too into the video they saw before the Florida and LSU games. I don't think they were quite prepared for the way the SEC coaches switched it up on them.
All right, well, you've got the junior Todd Beckman at quarterback. When we look at the best teams in the country, at least in the preseason this year, they all have very good quarterbacks. How good is Todd Beckman?
I think he's pretty good. I think his confidence is still an issue. It's going to be tough with someone like Terrell Pryor behind you. He can't really afford to make a mistake. With 105,000 people in the stadium, an interception or 2, and they're going to be chanting for someone else to come in the game. And for a guy like Todd, I think that's a big detriment to his confidence. I think that might actually be the weakest point on offense. We're going to have a new starting right tackle, but I don't think that's as big a deal as the quarterback. I think dealing with having someone as talented as Pryor behind him could end up messing with Todd's head.
What's the buzz like surrounding that early game at USC?
Oh, it's huge. I'd equate it to the Texas games of 2 or 3 years ago. I think it's big. It's just as big as a Penn State or Michigan game around here. People are really psyched for it already. They're selling shirts, and people are already planning parties and vacations out to LA to go see it. So it's a big deal.
Zach, thanks a lot for your time.
Oh, no problem.
So the number 4 team in our preseason poll is Ohio State. The Buckeyes return their quarterback, leading receiver, star running back, and a solid defense. Can they be better than runner-up? We'll find out. That wraps up this UWIRE Campus Pulse.